Silver Rain Runningcloud here. I listened to David Wilcock today, and I'm really glad I did. I didn't catch his last broadcast on honor and all that because I just didn't feel like it. But I did catch his broadcast today, and I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad I tuned in for the last half of his conversation because he mentioned some things that were really super encouraging to me, and some clarifying things as well. So please do go listen to him. If you're on the same track as I'm on, you might learn a thing or two that will bring you some comfort in these very trying times. You might also benefit from checking out the Nibiruan Council website. There's a woman there named Jelaya, and she seems to be a true intergalactic emissary. I think I've seen fake intergalactic emissaries that I've called out. One fake that I've called out that I think she's a fake. But I think Jelila is perhaps the real thing. Anyway, her mission on the Nibiruan Council is to increase compassion amongst the Europeans. And I don't know how well she's doing at it. I don't see any increased compassion among the Europeans. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe she's doing some good in that field. I know I sent her an email that said, I hope you succeed because Europeans need compassion. They really do. They really do. Because they're killing me and they don't even seem to want to stop. And I wish they would stop killing me and my people. I really do. So I'm listening to Wilcock today. And I'll tell you, today I think I fell in love with him. Today I just had this feeling while he was talking. I didn't even know where he was in his conversation. But I just had this feeling, I love you. You are really a worthy person. See, because I'm not a racist. I don't look at somebody's race and then decide how I'm going to feel about them and what privileges I'm going to give them and the respect I'm going to make them entitled to, because I'm not a racist. But one of the things that Wilcock talked about today that made me want to have a conversation back was karma. He mentioned karma. And he was, saying what we all know, like East Indian culture has really super traveled, especially the spirituality in it. The Nazis used a swastika, and East Indians had the swastika. And a lot of the things that we hear about, like a lot of the Europeans date the beginning of their awakening to Stichins and the Sumerians. Now, there are others of us on Earth who go much farther back than that, like the Sasquatch and my people, my race. But for the Europeans, the Sumerians are their place marker. And among the Sumerians, a lot of what they know was translated into East Indian culture. See, it really was. I had my legs crossed in my chair. So it really was. So we all have a sense of karma, of what that means. In fact, Taylor Swift, who really needs to just move on and let some other people become pop stars, she made a song that trivializes karma and appropriates it altogether. Very offensive song to Taylor Swift. Karma is for boyfriend. Karma is common. But Wilcock was talking about karma today the way most of us understand it. And that is that whatever's happening to you, you deserve it. If not from something you did recently, from something you did in your past life before you were reincarnated into this life. So I've had to ask myself time and time again, did I deserve being oppressed and put under the threat of genocide by the Europeans? Was I a ruler in another life where I was cruel and abusive to my people and they all came back as Europeans and Black people to make shreds of me to get me back? And I didn't. I didn't at all. And I'm going to tell you three things. One, I only reincarnate periodically. That's why everything is a surprise to me, because I wasn't just here to see it. I haven't been here for millennia. At least 2 was the last time I was reborn. I was resting. So I'm not a frequently regenerated being. My archetype is not frequently. I come out at times like now, when it's the start of a new age. That's my calling. So I don't have accumulated karma during this age to work out. That's one thing I know about myself. The other thing I know about myself is I had a near-death experience where I went to the origin. Like when I died, I didn't go any place but the origin. I went to the primordial ooze. I went to the place where you're nothing and you choose to become. You choose to rise up. You choose to be an individual. You choose to manifest a soul. I'll just call it a soul. Okay? When I went there, they treated me like family. Like, oh, you're back. Oh, it was like no big deal. However, they did the math on me. Okay? When you die, you go through a calculation. Did you do more good things than evil things? And you come up with a number and you pass or not. At least this is how it was for me. Because what I was told while I was dead was that I had only hurt one person, and it wasn't that bad. That in all of my existence, they only had one negative thing against me, only one. And that everything else I had done was spiritually blessed, spiritually pure. That I did not do a lot of evil things that I have to make up for. I didn't abuse people. I didn't mistreat people. I didn't abuse power. I didn't hurt anybody but one woman, one girl, one woman. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but that's what they told me. I don't want to be in the open door where I can get shot with weapons, not with all the lights on in here. Well, I guess you don't want to see that door lock either, do you? You want to look out there? See, look at my view. Concrete and steel. I'm in jail. Looks like doesn't it look like the inside of the jail when you look outside here? Looks like that's the prison. This is my cell, and that's the prison. Prison outside the door, the bars and everything. So my karma didn't put me in this situation that I'm in. Now, this is the last part, and I think this is kind of the most exciting part. When I was being fully recruited into the resistance in Arizona, before I started doing all of the reporting and the reconnaissance work, I had a lot of experiences in the other dimension where there were other beings, interdimensionals, communicating with me. Okay? And one of the things that they told me and this happens in a sort of a twilight sleep state that a person is in, except it's too alert to be sleep. It's too cohesive. It lasts too long to be a dream. It's too logical and cohesive. There's too much information being transferred for it to be a dream. It's a communication. It's a communication that's in telepathic space. And that's actually, where I first met Elon Musk and other people, but they weren't always there. But when I was first getting trained, when they were first telling me that they want me to be a leader in America, when America's the new world, when they were first telling me that they wanted me to be a vice president for Donald Trump because I'd shown such leadership skills in social media. And also, I guess I was born for it. And when they were first telling me that, they also told me about my karma. And they told me about my karma through these conversations, but also through cyberspace confirmations. And what they told me about my karma was that my karma could afford the losses that were coming. That my karma was the best karma that they could find. So that the loss of life that was going to be coming with the turnover of power, my karma could afford it. I know it sounds very funny talking about karma as if it's an economic system. But they said that one of the reasons that I was chosen was because my karma was so clean. So my karma sort of was a pay it forward kind of a karma. It said, since you didn't do anything, we can debit the bad things we have to do from your account. Because anytime you take a life, anytime you destroy a soul, see, we're talking beyond taking a life here, because we're trying to eradicate evil. God has finished his experiment in polarity of good and evil. The Europeans like to say the light and the dark because they're very Hegelian. They always like to associate evil with darkness because it makes their racism easier. But it's good and evil are the proper terms. When people say, it's so dark in there, they mean it's so evil in there. And it's only because of Hegelian linguistics that the Europeans use that they've substituted the word dark for evil. Because then when you go into the dark continent where people have dark skin, but isn't that relative? I mean, you're not dark if you're the same color as everybody else within, right? Dark is always going to be a comparative thing when you're talking about people. But good and evil is not a comparative thing. These are categories. And we all pretty much know that during this lifetime, during this existence, during this age, we were asked again and again and again. I'm just checking on Foxy. Oh, I can see him there. I don't want him to walk outside. We've been told again and again and again and again and again that your conscience matters, that you have to come from a place of love, that you have to be Christian in your emotional palette, where you do not want revenge, right? But then we have people whose religion says you're a victim and you'll never be a victim again, so take them out before they get you. So we've coexisted with them, but we've come to realize that those people do a lot of very evil things on earth. So let's say that one of the things that we Earthians have proven, whether we were put here as a test or not, whether God put us as a test or not, one bit of information that we have verified is that evil will always win, and evil will always destroy, and evil will always leave no men standing. and that evil will create a huge reservoir of pain and loss. So if you want to destroy a civilization, make sure you have evil operating, because evil will do it for you. Good, on the other hand, is about growth. It's about evolving. It's about ascending, rising up. Good is what we need to move forward. We can't move forward with evil. So one of the things that happens during this particular time is that God eliminates evil. Okay? Now you'll hear people say, well, you can't destroy consciousness once it's been created. You can if you're God. Okay? Souls last forever. Not if God says you're out of here, buddy. Okay? People forget that God is the sovereign of this existence. God is the sovereign. And God is the ultimate power in charge of all of us. And that whatever is happening on this planet, if it's going to be, catastrophic for the entire planet, or just for, everyone except Africa, which is going to rise up and dominate the planet, we don't know. We don't know. Right? We've heard so many things, that the earth could be going through something, that the sun could be going through something. But we do know this. We do know that there is so much evil on the earth right now that we can't continue this way, because we're just going to all be destroyed. I am not going to live in a world run by the European racists. I'm not going to stay here, just like before. When I ended up going back to heaven, I said, hey, this is stupid. It's a stupid life here, being run by the Europeans. I'd rather be dead than live in a world that's a European nationalist racism regime. I'd rather be dead than be here if this is going to be the white people planet. Nobody wants to be here. Nobody. Nobody wants to be here as long as Europeans are ruling the economic system, the social system, the media broadcasting system, the entertainment system. They're running everything, and it's a disaster. It's a total disaster. And good souls do not want to be here. Good souls want to flee the Europeans. So when it comes to karma, I didn't know how I'd be using the information that they gave me back in 2016. 2016 is when they really started. 2016, 2017 is when they really started to train me and develop me and teach me and have me wake up and look around and see what the truth is. And it was when they told me that, I had no idea that I would need to have a definition of karma and that I would need to have a karmic score. But there have been so many times during this event when I've heard different people, different leaders like David Wilcock talk about karma. And I've had to ask myself, did I earn this? And I always search myself, and I always come up with no. But I also have 3 external events that happened through my consciousness, through my non-corporeal body, through my essential self, that confirm it. I did not earn this life I'm in. I'm here in part to document it. Another thing God taught me early on, I said, God, I've already been through so much tragedy that's available on this life. Why? I want to be happy. And the answer that came back to me is because you have to know from firsthand experience what's going on here. And so we have to give you the grand tour of the misery available, being created for the people living here. You see, because I hadn't been here in so long. So I had to get the grand tour, because I was also told that I was one of the judges of this civilization, that I was here to experience it because I get to judge it and give my testimony to God, that I am God's body among other beings here, and that what I'm experiencing as a human being confirms the decisions that God already made. Okay? It's sort of like being the graduate student council. The faculty already made the decision, but they want you to understand the decision and put your 2 cents in, because they already know they're right. But they want the students to understand the condition, the judgment, and why the judgment is right. So I think that one of the reasons why I got to see what they do to you when you succeed, and then I succeed again and again and again and again, and I get to see that they'll do it to me again and again and again and again. The value of that was I have firsthand experience. I'm not sitting behind a podium with my gavel and my black robe on, as the executioner robe on, and talking about things that I have not personally experienced. I got to see European nationalist racism in all of its glory. And I got to document it through social media for the good ETs to learn about it from the point of view of anthropologists, gathering information so that they are better able to assist us in the fight for liberation here. So karma, perhaps you are like me. Perhaps you're here as a judge, because I'm not the only one. And perhaps really horrible things have happened to you and you feel very innocent about it. That when you search within yourself and you kind of get in touch with your past selves, there's my poofy. That you, like I know, that you didn't do anything to deserve the torment that you're getting. You know, I was online today and I was reading some of the comments that Chiron Inspiration gets on his broadcasting tarot card reading. And the comments were so sad that it really made me cry on this one broadcast. People were talking about being homeless